Have you ever lost something? Maybe something small, but yet very important to you. Or maybe you found yourself anxious about something and you prayed a prayer that other people would consider silly or insignificant. Well, in this third episode of this devotional series, we will be talking about a story in the Bible of a man that lost a borrowed tool. And he was anxious and worried. And you know what he did? He cried out to God. There is absolutely nothing too big or too small to approach God with. So let's unpack this. Tag along. This is the living, breathing Word of God. This is alive. Hello, hello. Welcome to the third episode of Devotions with Danny. I am Danny, yours truly. And if you are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're not new here, well, welcome back. The Bible story that we're going to be reading today is found in the book of 2 Kings, chapter 6. We're going to start from verses 1 and read all the way through verse 7. It says, "One day, the group of prophets came to Elisha and told him, 'As you can see, this place where we meet with you is too small. Let's go down to the Jordan River, where there are plenty of logs. There, we can build a new place for us to meet.' 'All right,' he told them. 'Go ahead.' 'Please come with us,' someone suggested. 'I will,' he said. So he went with them. When they arrived at the Jordan, they began cutting down trees. But as one of them was cutting a tree, his axe head fell into the river. 'Oh, sir,' he cried, 'it was a borrowed axe.' 'Where did it fall?' the man of God asked. When he showed him the place, Elisha cut a stick and threw it into the water at that spot. Then the axe head floated to the surface. 'Grab it,' Elisha said, and the man reached out and grabbed it. There are so many things that we can learn from this short story, and what stands out to me the most is the level of God's care for us. You know, God does big miracles, big things, right? But he's also in the small things. He's also in the small details. Here we saw this man anxious about a borrowed tool. It is important to note that an axe at that time was a really expensive tool, right? And this man was using a very expensive tool that wasn't even his, and now it was lost. So you can imagine what he must have felt at that moment of hopelessness. But he had the right attitude when he cried out to Elisha, which represented God, right? And Elisha, through God's authority, through God's power, was able to perform that miracle of making the iron axe head float in the water. The Bible teaches us in the book of Philippians chapter 4, verse 6, it says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." We read here, in every situation, big or small, in every situation, we can present our requests to God. Doesn't matter how big or how small it is, God cares. And on this note, I would like to share with you a personal story in which I lived this very thing. As you might have noticed by now, in this episode of this devotional series, I look a little different. I have braces on, and that's because I still had a baby tooth, and I am in the process of bringing my permanent tooth down. That's why I needed the braces on. Before I started the process, I received some discouraging news from professionals saying that at this point of my life, my permanent tooth would most likely be anchored or cemented to my jawbone and wouldn't be worth it to undergo the process and do all that, which discouraged me very much. But you know what I did? I prayed. I prayed for my tooth. And to some people, it might seem silly to pray for a tooth. But guess what? I prayed. I decided to bite the bullet and start this process by faith. And it has been a little over 5 months now. And my permanent canine, it's almost completely down. So I prayed for my tooth and God answered. Just like that man cried out to God for that lost tool, right? And he was able to retrieve it, which goes to show that God cares for the little things too. In the book of Psalms, chapter 37, verse 33, tells us the following: The Lord directs the steps of the godly. He delights in every detail of their lives. God cares about every detail. He is a God of details. And that also reminds me of when I lost this necklace that I'm wearing. This is a very special necklace to me. Someone really dear to my heart gave it to me. It reads blessed in Morse code. The way it happened was I went to this new dentist, right? And I needed to take x-rays to build up my chart. So I needed to take all of my jewelry off, including my necklace. Now, I almost never take this necklace off. So I took it off and I put it inside of my zip up wallet pocket. Then I took my x-rays, and then 2 days went by and I finally noticed that, hold on a second, I don't have my necklace. Oh, I remember I put it in my wallet, right? So I opened the zipper and I cannot find my necklace. I was genuinely sad. I was really sad. And I thought, oh no, I lost my necklace. I love that necklace. And you know what I did? I prayed. And funny enough, um, this story right here was mentioned in the prayer, and I believed in this. I meditated in the truth of the Word of God, and I believed that the same way God came through for that man with that silly request of recovering that lost tool, right? God could come through for me too with my request of recovering my lost necklace. Now, listen to this. I had a follow-up appointment on the following week, right? So I go into the dentist office, and then I asked the assistant, have you by any chance seen a necklace somewhere? I lost my necklace here last week and I couldn't find it. She was like, oh, I'm gonna ask the ladies on the front desk if somebody turned anything in. So then she goes to the front desk and she comes back into the consultation room where I was with this blue plastic cup, and she asked me, is it this one? And when I looked inside of the cup, I was like, yes, that's my necklace. I was so happy, and I immediately remembered the prayer that I prayed. God answered it. And that goes to show that God cares. God cares for the big prayers. God cares for the small prayers. God cares for the urgent prayers alike. God cares because He's a God of details and also a personal God. And the Bible shows that to us through David's struggle. King David, when he was fleeing from Saul for his life, he was really afraid and anxious. But then look at what he wrote in the book of Psalms, chapter 56, 8. King David wrote, you keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottle. You have recorded each one in your book. Do you want a more personal God than this? He records every tear because we are very, very valuable to Him. Jesus says in the book of Luke, chapter 12, verses 6 and 7, when birds are sold, 5 small birds cost 2 pennies. But God does not forget any of them. Yes, God even knows how many hairs you have on your head. Don't be afraid. You are worth more than many birds. This verse is not about birds. Jesus is talking about you. and night. Just talking about us. If God can't even forget the birds that are worth pennies, much less He will forget about you or me. We are valuable to God. He loves us. And the amazing thing about God is that He not only hears our prayers, but He also answers them because He is a living God. He is our living hope. And we can always come to Him with anything, big or small, even for a lost tool. Remember that God cares about every detail of your life. Do not be anxious about anything, but pray about everything. It doesn't matter if it is your tooth, it doesn't matter if you lost a necklace, it doesn't matter if you lost a tool, or if you need prayers for your pet at home, or your phone, or to find a parking spot. It doesn't matter. God cares. Just come to Him, just pray to Him, and He will help you. Because again, He lives and He loves you. Well, this is it. I hope that you have been blessed by this message as I have been. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video. And I hope to see you on the next episode. God bless you. Bye bye.